Use the Stylebase material function and connect the required properties. The same is true for Styleplant and Stylegrass. I will adjust the specular and roughness to get a better effect. In the material, there are multiple modes for you to choose. Here I will use the prepared texture for demonstration. You can use different UV modes to fit your model. Normal texture and brush texture will have multiple layers of effects. Please adjust their strength separately to get a balance of textures. You can also adjust the number of color layers. Default is 4. If there is direct light in the scene, you can adjust the highlight range, shadow range and their colors separately. The preliminary results have been completed. Let's make another copy to get a better effect. This time we will use a new material instance. I will replace the normal texture with a brush texture. Then switch the UV mode of the normal texture as needed. At this time you will find that the texture has more random effects. Due to the change of normal texture, we need to readjust the parameters. You can also use different brushes or normal textures. It looks like this. Let's add the overlay material. We find BP Sky in the scene and drag it into the scene. First, let's talk about the cloud material. There are 5 cloud layers, and their properties can be edited independently, including common moving, scaling and editing colors, etc. You can also use the texture color. Sometimes there are unexpected effects. Another point is that the clouds can overlap each other. Then you will get better results. The cloud effect is calculated by the material. Sometimes textures don't have to be clouds. The parameters of each part of the sky are simplified as much as possible to avoid being too complicated. If you remove all the clouds and only have the starry sky, it's still a nice view. At the same time, you can change the sky's color, size, or add lighting functions. Adjusting the size of the sky will change the distances of clouds and stars. The value should not be too large to avoid affecting the effect. The next part is the moon. The moon has only a few parameters: size, position, color, halo, etc. Interestingly, I can replace the moon texture. In most materials, the moon only has one shape, which is round. Here, we can use different textures to get a different moon or no moon at all. The third part is the stars. I think the most romantic part. It can make the whole sky full of stars. Not only can you adjust the number, strength, and flicker of stars, you can also define colors based on textures. It is a good choice to make night scene. The last part is the panner of the clouds. I didn't add any complex features. The only thing to note is that after using different noise textures, the effect of panner will change. At this time, you should adjust the speed or intensity appropriately. At this point, the sky blueprint has been fully displayed. At this point, the sky blueprint has been fully displayed. This version does not add the galaxy function and time of day function. This feature may be added in due course. This PCG blueprint is the most commonly used. There are more common functions than other PCG blueprints. Now I will demonstrate the relevant functions through examples. Adjusting density and random size is definitely essential. Then put in the mesh that needs to be scattered. In the PCG blueprint, I divided the meshes into 3 groups. They can adjust their properties independently. Can also be used in combination. In the same group, you can put multiple meshes. They are assigned positions according to a random seed. Now I put mushrooms in the second and third groups. You can choose whatever you want, they will be randomly scattered. Now I check the surround function. Then the second and third groups of meshes will surround the first group. Note, the mesh will scale based on distance. Adjust the scale and we can change the random seed to get the effect we want. Then check absolute rotation, the model will be vertical to the ground. Next I will demonstrate the exclusion function. I'll check close spline. Then put the closed spline blueprint into the scene. You can see that the mesh inside the spline disappears. Let me adjust the spline. Okay, now you can see where the spline goes. The mesh will disappear. This is the first exclusion method. Let's look at the second method, spline road. Similarly, check the option and put the blueprint into the scene. Then adjust the pads that need to be excluded. For uneven ground, sometimes you need to adjust the height of the point. Now let's show you the third. First enter the tag name of the mesh. Then I copied a stone over here. Let me adjust it, it's a little too big. Then search for the component tag and enter the component name. Please make sure the name is the same as in the PCG blueprint. Then you will see that no PCG objects are generated where the mesh is. The last part is about landscape materials. They correspond to the names in the landscape material. Now I use the corresponding material to paint in the landscape. You will see that no PCG objects are generated in the landscape material. When I check the invert button, PCG objects are only generated in landscape materials. This PCG blueprint has similar functionality to scatter object. There are two differences between them. The first point is that the scope of this PCG blueprint is relatively free. The second point is that this PCG blueprint cannot generate objects on the mesh. Other than that, there is no difference. The third PCG blueprint can generate objects on any mesh. In this example, I will use this stone in front of me to show. If your mesh is scaled, PCG may also have scaling issues. We need to make sure the mesh has the same properties as the PCG, including their size, position, rotation, etc. The density of the object is a bit high, let me adjust it. Okay, now let's replace the scattered mesh. Let me pick a few bushes. Then adjust their density. Note, density distribution is from bottom to top or from top to bottom. Then set the random scaling value. Finally, check the exclude button at the top. Enter an ideal value and you are done. This is the spline PCG blueprint. Objects will be scattered along the spline. If the landscape is uneven, please adjust the height of the point appropriately. You can choose whether to follow the path or adjust the random density. Let me adjusted some stones into the PCG blueprint. Then adjust the random rotation. Sometimes, using spline scatter with exclusion can also produce good results. Some additions about scatter an object. Scatter an object can scatter based on the material ID of the mesh. In UE5, the first material ID is 0, the second is 1, and so on. The default setting in the blueprint is 0. If you enter a non-existent material ID, PCG will not generate any objects.